Welcome back to Chinese Car Guy. Today I have one of the world's craziest cars, a Chinese Audi, and this is only available in China. This is a collaboration between Audi and Shangqi, and look at this. It is a completely new design. It's called the Audi E5 Sportsback. It is like a concept car, but it is already on the roads of China. One of the first striking thing will be the brand's name. You don't see the usual four rings logo, but instead it is replaced by the brand's name being spelled out. And this is really interesting. Now, it is accompanied by this beautiful ring of LED lights. And most importantly, you have the most beautiful car plate, Chinese Car Guy. So if you have not, make sure you smash that like button right now and subscribe. It is completely free and we are very close to 5,000 subscribers. I actually really like how the lights are hidden. I really have to bend down to see the lights. Now, there are also a lot of air vents. There's a lot of things that they have done to this car to make it very aerodynamic, and you can already see it from the outline. Check this out. It doesn't even have a rear mirror. It is replaced with cameras that you can't move. You can also see that there are a lot of cameras everywhere, which helps with the autonomous driving of this car. And now I've tried it and I think it's pretty cool. It is quite decisive, although there are some parts where I feel that it can be improved. Look at this wheel. It looks really similar to Zeekr as well. It has pop-up handles. On top of that, when you open the door, the brand's name comes out. So this is pretty nice. This car does fast charging, and in 10 minutes, it will reach 380 kilometers. The back looks phenomenal. I mean, look at this. It is a Sportsback and it just looks so nice. Utility wise, you can definitely put a lot of stuff here. You can go for family road trips or even fine dining. Either way, I think this car will look amazing. You still have this beautiful LED ring of light that is similar to the front. You see, it's filled with triangles, very concept-like. You know, one thing I really love about China is that in the West, there might be a lot of concept cars, and the concept cars just remain concept cars for decades. But in China, there's not really much concept cars because if they have an idea, they might just build it in a year. I quite like this spoiler. It is stationary and it's a huge flap as well. So the air is able to really go down and wrap the car nicely. You can see the brand's name Audi and also E5, which represents this model. Wow, it is actually really large. You can actually put quite a few 20-inch suitcases here. There is nothing at the bottom, so what you see is what you get. This car doesn't come with a frunk, or does it? What is this? Oh, it does. Sorry, this car does comes with a frunk, but this is reserved for emergency kits. And if we take a closer look, you will see that there are also air vents here. I really love how they have put a lot of thoughts in the design of this car. Wow, look. So this is an aerodynamic flap that also happens to cover the lights. Here it wraps the air around the car. Brilliant designing. One thing I want to point out is that the design of this car is actually German, while the technology is Chinese. It is a really interesting teamwork because you're really bringing the best of the best. Now let me bring you into the car. The first thing you will notice is the illumination in the car, and at night it looks insane. You have leather seats with a mixture of cloth, and look at this beautiful Audi logo. Wow. It comes with seat heating and cooling, and of course, steering wheel heating as well. These are the autonomous driving controls, and these are the media control. The site is quite simplistic as well. I love to have buttons that I can physically control the window. Now, this is where the rear mirror is. It's very interesting because it automatically adjusted based on how you think it should be. So for example, if I turn on the signal, you see it actually zooms out and then it zooms back in. It does take some time to get used to it. I love this panel of LED screen. It's actually seamless. There is a gap here, but there's no gap between here all the way there. So I can pretty much move things around, and it's extremely responsive. Let me just show you how it parks itself. So it will tell you exactly what it is doing. And the way that this car parks is actually quite fast. It is faster than what I am comfortable with. But at the same time, it is extremely confident. So it's a weird feeling. So if you don't know how to park a car, then this is gonna be amazing. Now there are no glove box for the gloves, but you have storage that has quite a little space here. You can put your phone, your cup holders. Now, there's only one wireless charging here. I'm not sure if this can be upgraded, but it is not super helpful. If we can have two wireless charging, that would be great. This car also has a lot of wood, you see? And it feels really nice. These panels actually reminds me of concert halls, like the classical ones where it absorbs or bounces off the acoustics of the music. This car comes with a few different trims. You have the rear-wheel drive, which is the cheaper versions, and also the quattro four-wheel drives. This is also another example where I can see a mixture of German and Chinese ideas. German because it is analog, and Chinese because it is simplistic. You have a touch screen that you can change your driving mode, and this automatically changes to whatever it thinks that you're trying to change. Now let me show you the back. The back seat is decent. My leg couldn't go further in, so that is something that I would say is a little bit of a downside. The headroom can be a little bit small, so if you are 6 feet and above, it can be a problem. But you don't feel claustrophobic because you have this panoramic sunroof, which looks actually quite nice. This is a slot where you can slide in a mount to hold your iPhones or iPads for entertainment at the back. You have a USB-C charging and individual air vents where you can control this. Really nice. The armrest is also very comfortable. I love how the cup holders are hidden, so it's not like fixed here where it makes your armrest uncomfortable. And then you have a little bit of storage. I'm not sure what this actually can store. Maybe a phone or some nuts. You have your ISOFIX. Very simplistic. So if you can see now, the sun is directly shining through. It is slightly gray to block out the sun, but it is still shining right into my eye. So I think that allowing this glass to be black will be very crucial. Otherwise, you will have to wear a cap to block out the sun. This is definitely a first world problem if you would like to have a glass panel like this. One thing I feel needs to be improved will be the buttons for autonomous driving. This button controls the distance between this car and the car in front. But when you click it, it will change from near, medium, far, and then it will go back to near, medium, far. This can pose a problem because in a lot of Chinese cars, there are actually two buttons, left and right, where you can click near and far respectively. The second thing will be the display when autonomous driving is switched on, because it took me quite a while to fully realize which icon is showing the speed limit and how much I'm making it faster or slower. In a lot of Chinese cars, it is very, very clear. So if they can make it a little clearer, I think that would be even better. Now let's go for a drive. The driving experience of this car is actually really silky, both in terms of the steering wheel and also driving. This car starts from $34,000 US, and it's really affordable if you think about it. If you are a young person who just started building your career, then this car is definitely something that you would like to show off to your friends. This car is very low to the ground, so you feel really connected. One thing, however, to consider is that this car is really wide. If you're living in a city that has really tight roads, then it's gonna be a consideration that you need to take. There's not much suspensions that can minimize the bumps. Being an Audi, the aggressiveness is still there. If you would like this car to jumpstart and accelerate, this car is able to do that. This car is also getting a lot of looks because this is a brand new car and it just looks so great. It still takes people some time to get used to not seeing the four rings of the Audi. So overall, the driving experience is wonderful and it's really comfortable to drive. The control of this car is phenomenal. You can already feel how fun this car it is to drive just by looking at how responsive it is. So what do you think? Will you buy this car if you have the chance? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Most importantly, please don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel tremendously and it's completely free. Thank you very much and I'll see you in the next video.